In the last video, we explored how to identify and document various project stakeholders. But not all stakeholders are the same. Every stakeholder has their own needs, aims, goals, priority, expectations, experience, and background. So stakeholder analysis is the systematic gathering and analyzing of information about each stakeholder. It identifies their interests, expectations, and influence as it relates to the project. So why should we understand our stakeholders' intentions? Well, since most stakeholders have their own goals, you can end up with everyone on the project pulling in opposite directions, rather than working together to achieve the project goal. So a good project manager will take these different stakeholders, understand that they are different, and then lead them so that they work together efficiently as a team. If a project manager takes the time to understand each stakeholder, then they're more likely to be able to encourage stakeholders to work together towards a shared goal. There's a reason for this. As human beings, we like to feel understood and valued. A project manager who makes his stakeholders feel that they have something important to give to the project will find those stakeholders are more willing to adopt a shared project vision or goal. There are several tools to help us analyze and understand our stakeholders. Some tools compare aspects of stakeholders, such as power, interest, influence, and impact. Or a project manager can analyze each stakeholder in terms of their support of the project. Let's look at each tool. The power interest grid allows you to describe each stakeholder in terms of their power over your project and their interest in your project. If a stakeholder has high power and high interest, your engagement of that stakeholder is important. But if a stakeholder has high power but no interest, then you need to keep them satisfied, which means you need to know what their expectations are so you can try to meet them. The stakeholder who has low power but high interest, maybe a community group, needs to be kept informed about the project. Remember, a stakeholder's power and interest might change over the life of the project. With the advent of social media, community groups are becoming more powerful and can protest, causing delays. It's much more cost-effective and likely to lead to a better outcome to engage with stakeholders as early as possible. Where you have a stakeholder who has low interest and low power, you just need to monitor them, provide important information at the right time to keep them safe and supportive. Sometimes the power interest grid is also called the power influence grid, and there are more comprehensive versions of this grid that you can explore. But this basic tool is a really good starting point. Another model for analyzing stakeholders is the salience model. Whereas the power interest grid only used 2 variables, the salience model uses 3: power, legitimacy, and urgency. In this model, power is defined as the ability of the stakeholder to influence the outcome of the project. Legitimacy is the authority that the stakeholder has on the project, and urgency refers to the expectation of a quick response to their queries or demands. All of the stakeholder analysis models shown here, and others you might come across, will help a project manager to identify the most important, critical stakeholders and prioritize time spent with and communicating to them. The final part of stakeholder analysis is the engagement assessment technique, and this will be part of the next video.